He stands in the living room of the two-story terraced house with a half-sized attic at the back and stares out of the window. The 40-year-old beard-stubbled poser from the house across the street comes jogging past. Anders is his name, apparently. A recent arrival, probably not lived here for more than 4 or 5 years at most. Already he has managed to wiggle his way onto the steering group of the Residents Association. The snake. He thinks he owns the street. Moving after his divorce, apparently. Paid well over the odds. Typical of these bastards, they come here and push up the property prices for honest people, as if this was some sort of upper-class area. Also drives an Audi. Ove has noticed. He might have known. Self-employed people and other idiots all drive Audis. Ove tucks his hands into his pockets. He directs a slightly imperious kick at the skirting board. This terraced house is slightly too big for Ove and his wife, really. He can just about admit that. But it's all paid for. There's not a penny left in loans, which is certainly more than one could say for the clothes horse. It's all loans nowadays. Everyone knows the way people carry on. Ove has paid his mortgage, done his duty, gone to work, never taken a day of sick leave, shouldered his share of the burden, taken a bit of responsibility. No one does that anymore. No one takes responsibility. Now it's just computers and consultants and council bigwigs going to strip clubs and selling apartment leases under the table. Tax havens and share portfolios. No one wants to work. A country full of people who just want to have lunch all day. Won't it be nice to slow down a bit? They said to Ove yesterday at work, while explaining that there was a lack of employment prospects and so they were retiring the old generation. A third of a century in the same workplace, and that's how they offered to Ove. Suddenly he has a bloody generation because nowadays people are all 31 and wear too tight trousers and no longer drink normal coffee and don't want to take responsibility. A shed load of men with elaborate beards, changing jobs and changing wives and changing their car mix, just like that, whenever they feel like it. Ove glares out of the window. The porter is jogging. Not that Ove is provoked by jogging, not at all. Ove couldn't give a damn about people jogging. What he can't understand is why they have to make such a big thing of it with those smug smiles on their faces, as if they were out there curing pulmonary emphysema. Either they walk fast or they run slowly. That's what joggers do. It's a 40-year-old man's way of telling the world that he can't do anything right. Is it really necessary to dress up as a 14-year-old Romanian gymnast in order to be able to do it? Or the Olympic tobogganing team? Just because one shuffles aimlessly round the block for 3/4 of an hour? And the porter has a girlfriend, 10 years younger, the blonde with Ove calls her, tottering round the lanes like an inebriated panda on heels as long as box spanners, with clown paint all over her face and sunglasses so big that one can't tell whether they're a pair of glasses or some kind of helmet. She also has one of those handbag animals running about off the leash and pissing on the paving stones outside Ove's house. She thinks Ove doesn't notice, but Ove always notices. His life was never supposed to be like this, full stop. Won't it be nice taking it a bit easy? They said to him at work yesterday, and now Ove stands here by his old kitchen worktop. It's not supposed to be a job for a Tuesday afternoon. He looks out of the window at the identical house opposite. A family with children has just moved in there. Foreigners apparently. He doesn't know yet what sort of car they have. Probably something Japanese. God help them. Ove nods to himself, as if he just said something which he very much agrees with. Looks up at the living room ceiling. He's going to put up a hook there today. And he doesn't mean any kind of hook. Every RT consultant trumpeting some data code diagnosis, and one of those non-gender specific cardigans they all have to wear these days would put up a bog standard hook. But Ove's hook is going to be solid as a rock. He's going to screw it on in so hard that when the house is demolished, it will be the last thing standing. In a few days, there'll be some stuck-up estate agent standing here with a tie knot as big as a baby head, banging on about renovation potential and special efficiency, and he'll have all sorts of opinions about Ove, the bastard. But he won't be able to say a word about Ove's hook. On the floor in the living room is one of Ove's useful stuff boxes. That's how they divide up the house. All the things Ove's wife has bought are lovely or homely. Everything Ove buys is useful. Stuff with a function. He keeps them in two different boxes, one big and one small. This is the small one, full of screws and nails and spanner sets and that sort of thing. People don't have useful things anymore. People just have shit. 20 pairs of shoes, but they have never known where the shoehorn is. Houses filled with microwave ovens and flat-screen televisions, yet they couldn't tell you which plug to use for a concrete wall if you threatened them with a box cutter. Ove has a whole drawer in his useful stuff box just for concrete wall plugs. He stands there looking at them as if they were chess pieces. He doesn't stress about decisions concerning wall plugs or for concrete. Things have to take their time. Every plug is a process. Every plug has its own use. People have no respect for decent, honest functionality anymore. They're happy as long as everything looks neat and dandy on the computer. But Ove does things the way they're supposed to be done. He came into his office on the Monday and they said they hadn't wanted to tell him on Friday as it would have ruined his weekend. It'd be good for you to slow down a bit, David wrote. Slow down? What did I know about waking up on a Tuesday and no longer having a purpose? With their internets and their espresso coffees, What do they know about taking a bit of responsibility for things? Ove looks up at the ceiling, squints. It's important for the hook to be centered, he decides. And while he stands there immersed in the importance of it, is mercilessly interrupted by a long scraping sound. Not at all unlike the type of sound created by a big off backing up a Japanese car hooked up to a trailer and scraping it against the exterior wall of his house.